the fuck are you doing? Get out of here! Oh, fucking elephant. Anyway, I humbly welcome you to my YouTube channel, where we will mostly be focusing on Super Mario Maker 2 content. That'd be the main focus of the channel. I will play the occasional odd game here and there outside of that. Probably starting with Summoner. What else? Because how dare you start your YouTube channel and not play Summoner first? But we'll definitely be mostly doing Super Mario Maker 2 content. Truth be told, I did have a YouTube channel before this one, which has since been deleted. A long story short, I had troubles with my old email address and I couldn't change it, nor could I update or transfer my stuff from my old channel to a new one. So I figured, fuck it all. I'm just gonna break my old channel and make a brand new one, which I have done. Don't worry, this will not be a habit. I will not be deleting this one. This one's here to stay. Sorry for the inconvenience if you were with me before, but this one will be here to stay. Anyway, with that all set aside, with the channel's introduction over, how about I introduce myself so you can get to know me more and get to know who I am. So I am very much into philosophy, of all things. Who would have guessed? Me and philosophy? Mostly the ontological department, the study of the metaphysics. And one thing I have a strong belief in, or at least something I like to make the distinction between, is the sense of self, which is consciousness, and the body, as two separate entities, or two separate beings. Also believe that the subconscious is actually the body's consciousness of its own, and we as the consciousness were at some point formed from it. Kind of like a tulpa. Tulpas would be another day. Definitely something else I've been studying. Overall, when it comes to philosophy, or at least if you were to ask what do I really believe in, I believe that existence is nothing more than expression and the realisation of expression. And sometimes expression becomes so realised that it starts to express itself. And that's what I like to call consciousness. I'll leave it at that. We're not a philosophical channel here, so... But as I'm giving a bit of an introduction to myself, yeah, that is definitely my main subject. Aside from that, I am what you would call an otherkin, which means I don't have a human identity. There's also Therian, which is a subset of otherkin. Therian is more relating to, at least, those that have an identity that are of terrestrial animal. Ones that exist in this reality, in other words. They are, of course, considered otherkin. Otherkin is the umbrella term. Apparently, Therians get their own day, which is apparently on the first full moon of November. I can't remember the reason for it. I think it's something to do with a festival or something. I had to look that up later. Otherkin itself does get its own day as well, believe it or not. That is on the 9th of July. Ooh, very interesting. As for what my king type is, if you're very curious... Yeah, I'll bring this picture up here. This is actually the prototype of my true expression. Definitely a lot of adjustments to be made. Yeah, I'm kind of my own thing. But I do like to consider myself a carbuncle. A humanoid carbuncle. And yeah, this is, as I said, is my prototype. I actually made this several years back. And it really felt like me. That's... I originally made it just because I found a picture online and I kind of just wanted to make a little version of it for myself. And I can't... it just felt so much like me. So I thought, let me make some adjustments here. And that's what I ended up with. It's still got some adjustments to make. Mostly being those ears are they're far too short for me. I'm a very big fan of long ears. Also missing the garnet on the forehead, which every respectable carbuncle really needs to have. But yes, I am a noble carbuncle. Very nice. No, I don't mean the aristocracy of nobility. More so that when I use the term noble, I'm more referring to the values and principles one has, and the honour. Oh yeah, and before anyone is curious, I wouldn't consider myself a furry. I'm more than aware of furries. But me personally, I'm not a big fan of anthropomorphic animals. I admit they are a step up from the very boring humans that you see in this world. They're definitely a step up, especially the face. But anthro animals, not entirely my thing, so I would not consider myself a furry. I'm very curious though on how many furries are actually closeted furrians. I'm willing to bet there'd be a fair few. If you happen to be a furry, maybe consider asking yourself if you could potentially be a closeted furrian. It's definitely possible. I need to make myself some prosthetic ears at some point, actually. Some very nice long ears. And a nice, authentic garnet on the forehead. It is a garnet. It's supposed to be a garnet. I've already got myself a nice prosthetic tail, which is still lacking the hair on the end. I still haven't come around to doing that. I made that years ago. If you're curious on what it's made from, I mean, ideally I wanted to make it from silicone, which is far superior when it comes to making prosthetics. Silicone is top class. That's really what you want to get, but it's very pricey. And unfortunately, I do not capitalist very much, or actually at all. Yes, I'm not a big fan. Let's put it that way. But my current one is made out of liquid latex, of all things, with a wooden skeletal core, which I made myself. I'm pretty good at carpentry, so yeah, make of that what you will. Well, aside from being otherkin, I'm actually autistic as well, if you haven't already noticed. Let's actually talk about that. It's a very interesting subject, and one that kind of comes up here and there. If you want my honest opinion on autism, to me, it is nothing more than a jailbroken brain. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a Nintendo Switch, for example, of all things. Now, by default, a Switch can only run software that has been regulated by Nintendo. However, if you jailbreak a Switch, you can run homebrew on it, or pretty much anything you want. I've heard that people have been able to run web browsers on a jailbroken Switch as well. And I like to see autism as being basically the same thing. It's just a brain that has been jailbroken, allowing the consciousness within to develop into anything. In my case, I developed into a very noble carbuncle. Very fancy. I've also got ADHD, which, yeah, it's a thing. That's a thing. Speaking, while we're on that subject, actually, I just want to take the opportunity to say how bad YouTube is for people with ADHD, at least in my case. YouTube sucks. It really fucking does. You're watching a video, and all of a sudden, the fucking view counter just does this stupid animation, and then the like counter does the same fucking thing. It's so freaking frustrating and really annoying. And just, Ooh, don't like. I forget when YouTube added that, but real-time view count. Yes, YouTube. If you're watching this, this is for you. Please give us the option to disable that. It's so fucking frustrating and incredibly distracting. Ooh. I don't speak for everyone on anything, but for me, it's just horrible. YouTube is. Ooh. But yeah, so autism. Going back to that, I see it as just simply as a jailbroken brain. It really ain't that mysterious. A lot of people just ponder on the idea. You know, you just develop into whatever. That's all it is. I don't believe it's exclusive to humans either. Pretty sure that most animals, if not all, probably do have it too, or can have it. Well, it's not a thing that you have, it's more of a thing that you are. That's actually a very good way to divide the people that are more knowledgeable on the subject to those that are not. If they say that it's a thing that you have, they're probably not super knowledgeable on autism. But compared to someone that says that they are autistic, probably are knowledgeable on it. So, that's something to keep in mind. Well, aside from that, I'm also genderless. Or agender, if you wish. I'd rather just say I'm genderless, which means I don't identify with either male nor female, the masculine nor the feminine. I don't identify with either. I may demonstrate traits, maybe even mannerisms from both, but I don't identify with either of them. I do like, I'm a really big fan of short skirts. In fact, that's my favourite item of clothing. As demonstrated by my incredibly gorgeous true self, which does need adjustments. Very nice. They're just so they look so good. They're so freeing. Like, ooh, they're so nice. Also, sleeveless tops. They're very nice too. Yeah, my second favourite item of clothing. Very nice. I had to make an update on that when I come around to doing it. I'm a little bit of a professional procrastinator. So I do take my time doing things. But yeah, I may express either or when it comes to the masculine or the feminine, but I consider myself genderless. Apparently people do gender reveals, which just baffles me and kind of creeps me out a little bit. How can you assign a gender to a fella that can't even fucking talk? It's just very peculiar. Oh, and there's a lot of. I'm not a political channel. Before we go any further. This would be the most political I'll ever get on this channel, this one video. But, yeah, there's a lot of, well, bigotry, to say the least. If you want my opinion on that matter, trans women are women, and trans men are men. And if you're going to ask me for a definition, well, simply put, a woman is the mature embodiment of femininity, and a man is the matured embodiment of masculinity. I say that's the most inclusive, the most accurate way of putting it. Take it from a philosopher such as myself. I haven't got a PhD. Maybe I should look into getting a PhD for philosophy. Not that it'd do me any good, but I don't really need one, do I? Nah. Well, that's most of all that I had to say about that. Well, for general interest, I say I have a very big obsession with the tail. Well, as demonstrated, absolute work of art. The tail is just the most beautiful, and it's just like the finishing touch of anything, honestly. I mean, put it this way. This looks like shit. This, however, looks pretty damn good. Very nice. Just that one extra, I was about to say detail there, but maybe I should say add tail. Very, very nice. You see how much different that makes? Anything with a tail just looks awesome. Just especially the prehensile one. Woo! Yeah. No, I don't consider it a special interest. More like a special passion. Summoner gets a special interest credit when it comes to that. When it comes to humans, the face in general, I'm not a big fan of the human face. It looks like shit. I mean, like, what the fuck is this thing? Like, you call that a nose? Compared to most animals, it really lacks. It's a very poor design. Ooh. And then you got lips, like, what the heck is that? What's going on there? Oh, you can't beat you cannot beat a snout, a nose and mouth combination, facial structure. I'll take that any day. Also, sorry for my teeth. They're a little bit... I guess I do have those British teeth. In my defence, I smoke quite a bit. But yeah, the human face, it just... There's way too much movement with it as well. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, it moves way too... It's way too animated, the human face. Like, honestly, I know that the argument is, oh, it demonstrates emotion. You know what demonstrates emotions better than the human face? The tail. Like, you can tell everything about a person, or whatever, just by looking at their tail. How fast they're moving it, how high they hold their tail, how fast they're doing a tip flick, as I like to call it. Yeah, the human face, it's just, I don't like it. Looking at his body, it just, big upset when looking in a mirror. As for my favourite number, why not share that as well? That would be the number 7. Because it demonstrates the 7 parts of perfection. So the first 3 being the head, or the top vertebrae. The second being the main vertebrae, the torso. And then the tail vertebrae. And then the 4 limbs. Either 4 legs or 2 arms and 2 legs. That makes up 7. And that's how you make the perfect creature. In my opinion. In my honest opinion. Personal opinion. I'm very pacifistic as well. Or amiable, as you'd like to say. A lot of violence in the world. Especially from the human department. Are very unnecessary. I even extend my amiable ability, if that's even a word, to video games. I don't like to kill that you really don't need to when it comes to video games, even though they're just polygons with a texture UV wrapped onto it. I do like to hold, I guess that's where part of my nobility comes out of. Even in the video game world, I like to uphold my values and principles. I have a very dislike to belligerence, come to think of it. Far too much of it, both in this reality and in video games. I really don't play a lot of modern video games. I do like to stick to the retro department, mostly for that reason. But is it me or video games is getting a bit too belligerent, to say the least? I'm not a big fan, but I do extend my values, even in the video game world. Because if you can only keep your values in one world, then are they really real values? Well, I may as well mention my favourite Pokemon while I'm at it. I'm actually Team Eevee. Eevee is one of my favourites. You can love Pikachu as much as you like, but for me, it's always been Eevee. My favourite Pokemon is actually Glaceon. Ooh! Yeah. Very cute. Very nice. So sweet. Very graceful as well. Also, might upset a few people here, but another favourite Pokemon of mine is actually Simipour. Yeah, you don't hear that every day, do you? It's a blue monkey. What do you expect? How can you get any more cool than that? Very awesome. Very nice design. I do gravitate more towards the simple designs over cluttered ones. But things can get very overstimulating for me. Especially this reality. Like, this reality has details in the details. It's far too stimulating for someone like me. Ooh, just too much going on with it. Oh, the Pokemon world is definitely more pleasing on the eyes. At least for me it is. Yeah, it's funny how open I am these days. I could never make a video like this many years back. I was very, very sheltered, very closed. Very depressed as well. But then I started opening up about myself. I started, well, becoming more in tune with my true self. And my life got much happier. Yeah, if you accept yourself more and become open to the possibilities and get to know, well, your sense of self more and more and become more open about it, you find a much happier path is ahead of you. Is it a shame there's so much bigotry in the world? Far too much. Well, one is too much, right? It's very unpleasant, the world. Especially the politics. Like the UK, United Kingdom, or Great Britain as some might call it. Calling it great is a bit of a stretch. Especially in this day and age. Especially recently, actually, with recent politics. Well, all I'm going to say, because my opinion doesn't matter on the situation, but all I'm going to say is that not all of us in the UK are bigoted bastards. There are some of us that are very respectable, both to ourselves and to the identities of others. So, yeah, don't feel too worried about what you say on here, as long as you're pleasant. We want to be polite here, very pleasant, and I do encourage the most amiable behaviour that you could possibly have. Oh, well, nothing more to add on that. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about recent matters and about myself. There's nothing more that needs to be mentioned. As I said, the channel focus will be Super Mario Maker 2. I really do hope you enjoy that content. I very much enjoy recording and playing Super Mario Maker. I know not a lot of people were big fans of Nintendo these days. Kind of myself included, but it makes for great content regardless. And it's always fresh. You turn it on and you're always going to get something fresh. Sorry for the inconvenience, again, for those that were with me before. Really didn't have much of a subscriber base, but for those of you that was with me and were just wondering, what the fuck happened to the old channel? Yeah, just some shenanigans. Again, this one is here to stay. I will not make a habit of doing that, especially without informing you first. So, yes, I'm very much sorry for that. Also, sorry for the awful wallpaper that I've got back here. I did not choose this. I did not choose that. If I had my own way, it would be a lot more colourful and naturey. I definitely would have preferred something more flowery. Maybe a few trees would have been nice. Oh, it's very depressing. It really is. Not that I suffer from depression these days. I'm very much living a very happy life. Again, live your most authentic self and you will become much happier. Bigots be gone. If you do come across a bigot, or if any poke their nose into this channel, Just ask them politely if they'd like a nice cup of tea. Maybe they're having a bad day too. We need to remain amiable. No need for belligerence of any sort here. Also, sorry for my webcam quality. It's a little bit grainy, I'm noticing. That'll be the next thing for me to upgrade. Again, me and capitalism do not mix. I hope this one is satisfactory. I definitely will see about getting a green screen before that, though. Definitely to cover up that shit. You really don't want to see that heavy video. Nor do I, but I have to live with it, unfortunately. Anyway, that's really all I had to say. I really do hope you enjoy yourselves here. Have a good time. And feel that you're very much welcomed here, regardless on whatever you are or whoever you are. I hope I can be the best possible carbuncle a carbuncle can be. And I hope I can lead you to your treasure for the day. So have a nice one, and I'll catch you in the next.